Today I am going to talk about why I, boho girl, connected with The Bachelor this season, Jason Mesnick. It may come as a surprise to you that I actually watched The Bachelor this season. Partly watched it because a friend of mine who you would also not suspect that would watch that show watched it, and we emailed after every show and just kind of joked around about it. It was really, really fun, so I kept watching it. Another reason was because I'm kind of tired, and I just wanted to watch something that was entertaining and not very serious and whatever. So, but I wanted to talk about a time in my life that I actually went through something somewhat similar to what Jason's had gone through, although not quite. But I talked to my husband about this to make sure he was comfortable with me sharing this story, and he said, "You know what, honey, I am completely comfortable in our relationship and feel very confident about it, and you just go for it." So I just think he's amazing. I had to say that, honey. I love you. Okay, so when I was 19 years old, I actually got engaged. Both of my sisters, older sisters, had been engaged and married at 19, 20 years old. And being the baby sister who really looked up to her beautiful, amazing sisters, thought that that was the path that I was supposed to take, and didn't think it was odd for me to meet somebody young and, get married. So what happened was, when I was 10 years old, I met a deaf boy who was a family friend, and he was an incredible, wise young boy, and he taught me some sign language, and it always was in the back of my mind how beautiful I thought that language was, and how intrigued I was by the fact that he was a deaf boy functioning in a hearing world, because his parents at the time did not know sign language. And so in the future at college, I had taken sign language, deaf culture classes, and was really involved in the deaf community. And then about 10 years later, I actually met up with him again at the college he was graduating from. I was visiting a friend, found out he went there. Anyways, we connected again, and he was really, really taken aback that I could communicate with him via sign language. And I think he thought that was destiny, that we were supposed to be together. And I was really enamored with the whole situation, and I thought, this is it. And, I was really just basically enamored with the idea that, we would come back together and in our life. But anyways, what ended up happening was we only saw each other on the weekends, maybe twice a month. And he proposed a couple months after meeting, and I said yes. And then the first time we actually spent a long, realistic time together, which is I think about a week at his parents' house, that was after we had already put money down on my dress, bought all the bridesmaids' dresses, put money down on the place we were getting married, and planned our honeymoon, because he was going away to New York and he wanted all of that done within a month. The chemistry was different between us because we had actually spent a lot of time together, and I completely freaked out and explained to him that I just did not feel ready to get married, and that there was so much I wanted to do with my life as an individual. I didn't even really know myself well enough at that time in my life to know what being in love really was, although I believe some people, of course, can be in love that young. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me in my path. And so broke the engagement, to the disappointment of my family, and that was a huge decision to make, being that everybody else really felt like it was right for me in my life, and they wanted me to be married, married specifically to him, and that I followed my heart when I could have gone through with it because of all the money we put down, and I didn't want to disappoint anybody, and that was a huge step for me to take, being who I am, wanting to please everybody, but yet really standing firm that this is what my heart is telling me, despite the fact that I hurt him and some others in my life, which is really, really not a natural thing for me to do. I'm really proud of myself for making that decision, and I would encourage, Cedar, when he's growing up, not so much that it has to be about this subject, engagement or whatever, but that he follows his heart, despite what everyone else thinks they want for his life. But I hope that he really searches deep within what feels right for him, and then he'll make those decisions regardless of what people think of him or say about him. And anyways, I was watching The Bachelor and feeling so bad that he's getting such a bad rap for the decision he made, and really resonating with the fact that, getting married is huge, and that's a huge decision to make, and how he didn't really spend that much time with Melissa, and once he spent a lot of time with her, he realized, wow, things are different, and that it's okay to reflect on that and change your mind when it comes to your happiness and their happiness. And so, but what's so interesting is, reflecting back on all of this, it all ended up the way it was supposed to be, and he ended up marrying the love of his life. She is also deaf, very respected in the deaf community. She was actually once Miss Deaf America. I have married the love of my life, and am completely where I'm supposed to be with him and with Cedar, and it's just really, really interesting. And I just, the whole reason why I'm talking about this is that we just really trust our gut, and sometimes it's really hard when you hear little voices, what feels right, what they think is right for you. So I think I'm done. I just wanted to share why the heck boho girl related to Jason Mesnick. Jason, I adore Molly. I adored Melissa, but I adore Molly. I see the spark, and I hope you guys end up having a lovely romantic relationship. And Melissa, I hope you meet the man of your dreams. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.